Yo people, welcome to another video. This time my thoughts on the Karate Kid Legends trailer which just came out, and there is a lot to unpack. The first teaser trailer didn't really give us anything in terms of a story, but this time we can start to put the pieces together, and straight away by the end of this trailer it felt like there will be a sequel, and I assume this whole thing will be a trilogy, just like Daniel Larusso got back in the 80s. Now the trailer starts off with the reason as to why Lee is leaving China, and it's our usual hero leaves home with single mother start to the film, just like Daniel and Miguel went through in their own stories. However, this time it's far more serious. By the looks of it, Lee's older brother died in what seems like a fighting incident, or something that basically makes Lee's mom against fighting and against karate, martial arts, whatever you want to call it, throughout this whole trailer, which again, to be fair to them, is a different dynamic, because usually the moms of the story, they just allow their kids to train from the start. So this time we're instantly seeing this film follow similar patterns to the original. However, they're trying to change it, keep the plot fresh. I think this shot on screen is meant to be a flashback of the two brothers training. I assume after Dre won the tournament in his Karate Kid story that Mr. Han started training kids, and Lee and his brother were amongst those that started training under Mr. Han. We get a look at the love interest in the movie named Mia, and at the same time we get to see the dojo that our new main villain studies at. The main villain being named Connor, and it looks like, from what I could gather from the screenshots, the name of the dojo is Demolition Mixed Martial Arts, again showing us that this film will tie in both Kung Fu and Karate, and this is actually a good reason to tie in why Daniel Larusso needs to be in this film. Before this information, it just seemed like Sony were trying to profit off Mr. Han, Daniel Larusso, mix them and hope for the best. But this adds a further reason as to why both senseis are needed. The villain isn't just learning one method anymore, it's a mixture, so it's only right that Lee learns a mixture as well. We learn that Connor wins the newly introduced 5 boroughs tournament in New York, which happens every year, which I assume, based on the name, involves everyone in New York, since New York is made up of 5 boroughs. So that elevates the stakes and the world building for the franchise, which is something I like personally. I don't think this movie will have the whole evil senseis corrupt Connor or corrupt their students, and I like it because again it differentiates Connor from someone like Johnny Lawrence, and in doing so it makes Connor a bigger threat by himself because he doesn't need his other friends to do the bullying and to be a villain. Also, it would seem that he is someone who acts on evil because he likes it, not because he's being told to do so. On top of that, I reckon his friends are only his friends because they're scared of him, unlike Johnny, who, to be fair, all those Cobra Kai guys were actual friends. Anyways, then we see our typical bully fighting our main character scenes that we'll get, where our hero loses the first few fights. I kind of don't like that this is the whole high school bully thing as the trailer keeps going. It looks like Mr. Han is having a conversation with Lee's mom, trying to convince her to let him fight, and in my opinion this will only work once Daniel Larusso speaks to her, because he can give his own personal experience on what it's like to get bullied and show the mom just how great he turned out because of karate and the teachings, Mr. Miyagi, etc. I know everyone's going to call it glaze, but that is what it is. The last few scenes involve how Daniel ends up in New York, and it seems kind of like a comedic reason, but I'm sure they'll talk about Mr. Miyagi and everything, and there will be a whole load of context which is missing from this trailer. But if they just do it based off that comedic scene, I'm not going to like it. But yeah, overall, this looks promising. They're still sticking to the elements of what made the original film good, but they're modernizing it, which is the safest bet. As I mentioned earlier, a lot of the plots are similar, but they get changed to make the characters different. One thing I don't like is the whole high school bullying thing. Hopefully they add more complexity, more context to this feud, instead of it being about a girl. One line that I found that was a bit off was when Daniel says, "Let's make the next Karate Kid," to Mr. Han, because it's meant to do that thing where the character says the name of the movie and people are supposed to clap. But I don't like when they do this. A couple of things I'm looking for, and it's mainly Cobra Kai related. I do hope we get some more Mr. Miyagi explorations that they didn't address in Cobra Kai Season 6 Part 3. I hope we get to see some actual cameos from those characters from the Cobra Kai show, even if it's an advert with Robby and Tori that plays for 5 seconds, or even if it's Sam being introduced to Mr. Han and Daniel telling her that she's in charge of Miyagi-Do until he gets back. There's lots of clever ways, comedic ways to have the Cobra Kai characters appear, even for short cameos, 5 seconds, whatever you want to do, but there are ways of doing it, and if they don't do it, it will be a massive disappointment. So yeah, like I said, I think the film is in safe hands despite it being a Sony film. It will take a lot of things to fail and go wrong for this film, especially since they're copying and evolving the formula that worked back in the 80s. But yeah, as always, let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. What did you make of this trailer? What do you expect is going to happen? Do you think we'll see any Cobra Kai cameos? Let me know everything down below in the comments. I'd appreciate if you could like the video, sub to the channel, and thank you for your time.